more time. You think that syncs up when I put the music in post? Probably. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the cave. It's me, Joe Reezy, and I'm here with Q, Abra, and Tank from Paranoi Radio. But before we begin, make sure you check out our sponsors at SafeLightCandle.com. If you need lighting for your home, your workspace, or your studio, why aren't you getting it at SafeLightCandle.com, guys? Who wants to go first? Let's go down the line. I'll be our first question. Because I don't have internet. That's a good answer. Also, if you want to enjoy exclusive content from the Caveman, get access to our Discord community filled with crazy ass people like you and me 24/7, and receive free giveaways from the Cave Mart, then you're probably going to want to check out our Patreon page on our website, k4v3.com. That's cave.com. You like that, Cave Mart?
Yeah, low key dude.
What's up, Tig? Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing, man?
Jeez, I'm honored to be here. We have talked about this for about 2 months now. Just glad finally on. About time I returned the experience. You get me? Joe Reezy's been on with us quite a couple times on Paranoi. I mean, it's always a blast. So, I mean, let's get to it.
Yo, when we met Trebles and we did an episode with him, I think on your guys' show, it was like we meshed like right from the get, bro. That guy has an energy that just like, if you don't like it, you're a hater, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard not to get along with him. It's hard not to like him. Even with what he says, it's hard not to like him.
Yeah, man. You guys met before podcasting, right? So you guys have been friends since high school or what?
Yeah, roughly about 15 years. I mean, believe it or not, roughly about 15 years. I was a freshman when I think he was a sophomore or junior, and you know what? I could almost say he took me under his wing in high school. We started chopping it up, parties, everything that I basically knew from high school was through him. Worst influence ever, but throughout the ages, I mean, solid guy, to say the very least.
And then later it's like, hey, fool, let's go podcast and talk about crazy shit.
Oh, bro, has he ever told you how that happened?
No, what happened? I was going to get there, but we're here now. How'd that happen?
So I reached out to Trebles. We had stopped talking for about maybe like 5-6 years. Just no contact, no nothing. Maybe like a picture on Instagram, a little like on Facebook. That was just about it. Searching through my phone, it popped up people you might know on Snapchat. And I sent him a message, "So, bro, how you been?" And he goes, Tank. I'm like, yeah, fool, who else? I told him, how many tanks you know? He goes, oh, shit, how you been? We just started chopping it up. And he goes, let me get your number. Yeah, show out my number. I didn't think we were going to talk or anything. I mean, I was a brand new dad at that point. He was doing his own thing with his girl. And before I knew it, he calls me. We chopped it up one time. And then it almost felt like a fast engagement. The next time we talk, he goes, I'm going to do a podcast. You down or what? And I'm like, yeah. I'm going to take me out to dinner or something. Tell me how you doing.
That's right.
Up or something. Straight up, just like that. Boom. Like, you want to be part of the podcast? It's going to be called Paranoi Radio. I got the theme song. I got this. I got that. And I'm like, all right, bro, slow down. Slow your roll, baby. Slow your roll. But nah, and 3 years later, we're here.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice, nice.
You know what, too? Everyone who's been on that podcast that I've talked to about it, we all agree you guys have a unique flavor. I don't know if it's the radio that you guys put in front of it that makes it feel like it's a radio, plus Trebles' energy, your energy combined. It's definitely different and unique. So keep that shit going, man. He was onto something. Was he always talking about crazy shit, though?
24/7, I can't keep up with him. There's a reason I'm the normie of the show.
The normie.
He'll come, hey bro, look what I saw this. I just did my research on this. Before I know it, because we share notes, before I know it, I'll have this big old notes on my phone and I'm looking at, fuck, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm zooming through it, skip through it. And I tell him sometimes, I'm like, bro, I love Paranoi and everything, but you're just on another level. You're making this work out. So we just got actually into, not an argument, but I tell them, I'm like, podcasting is my hobby, 110% for sure. I'm not expecting to go big with it. I'm here. I don't want to say I'm here for him, because even at the end of the day, this sort of distresses you. This relieves you a little. That little 30, 45 minutes, you guys do an hour to 2 hours. It really
Mm-hmm.
does help, just being able to just speak your mind freely, letting it release. It really does help.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always loved about it. And to a sense, when we do a topic that I don't know nothing about, I'm not the hardcore researcher he is, but just finding out new shit, or when he blows my mind with something crazy, I'm like, nah, for real. I'll be right there. I don't know if you guys notice it. You'll see me look away from the camera to pull up my iPad and just like, is this shit even real? This was telling me the truth. What the fuck? What the fuck is this was from? But nah, bro. I mean, it's definitely gonna be a hobby for me for the next foreseeable future. I'm not going away from Paranoi Radio at all. It's just one of those things that I'm just along for the ride. And half of the
Nice.
time it feels like we got no brakes. It's full throttle, baby gas, red light, red light. He's not. Nah, we're
Yeah.
going straight through. I say less.
Hell yeah.
Was it
man.
like something you had to get, like, did you have to get used to, like, you know, being comfortable and organic, and like, you know, while you're recording the material and whatnot, or because of that chemistry, were you guys already, was it just like pretty easy from the beginning?
You know what? Me and Trebles have always talked about this. We have this natural, I guess, I don't want to say like a little chemistry that we have just because we know each other.
Yeah.
But we could be mad, screaming at each other 30 minutes before, like, nah, fool, fuck you, we're doing it this way. Nah, screw you, we're doing it this way. No, we're doing it that way. Or no, I think you're dumb, or whatever it is. And then we jump on the show, and it's almost like the fights never happen. But I will say it's like us tapping into almost like an alter ego that we've developed.
Okay.
For example, I'm not this big spontaneous type of guy 24/7. Trebles is 110%. You meet Trebles even in real life, motherfuckers jumping off the walls. You're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this fool on? Like, this was doing something. I'm really
Yeah.
not. I'm a little bit more to myself, but the way I see it is, I guess it's almost like a keyboard warrior where you could basically be who you want in front of the people. But there's that genuine that me and him actually know each other, that I'm allowed to say, for example, his mom passed away, and I've always been really good with the comebacks. So he'll say something stupid online. He's like, oh, that shit goes hard. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how your mom had me. He goes, bro, my
Oh,
mom died.
shit.
Doesn't matter, fool. And I'm
Mhm.
like, but we know each other like that. And I know
Yeah.
to some people it might be really disrespectful, but he literally is my brother. No matter what happens, he could tell me, oh, your wife is my bitch. I'm, oh yeah, well, your wife's in my DMs. And that's how much respect, but no respect we have for each other.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say that does come with you after knowing somebody 15 years.
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't recreate that type of relationship. Like,
Yes,
that type
yes.
of friendship, you can't just, it's very rare for you to be able to have that with someone you haven't known that long.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you even have
realistically,
like balls to go in that, territory with someone you don't know, you feel me?
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is something that does help us out, especially
Yeah.
when we're some of our debates, especially for example, let's say we go into religion. I'm not afraid of going opposed to religion or anything, as long as there's facts behind it. So if you tell me, hey, did you know that the Post relocated all these priests because of this and this? And it's true, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, who's to say that he didn't do that, especially if all the facts are there? I'm not going to fight against facts. I mean, and then I started telling him, oh, well, you know what? The Pope has also done this, taking away money from the Cardinals instead of throwing these baskets for big old parties. And we'll start like building up this little tension of us like, okay, yes, I get it, but this. Oh, yes, I get it, but this. But that's sort of what our friendship has done for us, that we're able to do. We're able to talk about religion, politics, and we don't get mad at each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. The hard part is like podcasting is starting to become a thing that a lot of people are doing now.
Yeah.
I feel like right now you can say that, but not yet. You know what I mean? I feel like it's starting to come up. There's people like us doing podcasts, but I think we've hit it early still. You know what I mean? I'm hearing people like asking people that are in our team, like, hey, what setup do you guys use? They're obviously curious and they're going to get started. You know what I mean? And we were once there. Mm-hmm. So what's weird is there's a huge spectrum of it. There's like having fun. I don't care. I'm just releasing this for whoever wants to hear it. And, it's kind of therapeutic in a sense,
Yeah.
but there's the other side of the spectrum where it's like, nah, dog, we could turn this into a full-on business. You know what I mean? You got to be here on time. Come on, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's hard
Believe it
though
or not.
is keeping it what it is, because usually it's people from the outside that try to tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, oh, hey, you know what? You got something here, dog. You know what I mean? And then they start projecting what they ideally think it is, when sometimes it's attractive to you because it's like, what? I can make money off this? You're right. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when the dust settles, it's like, hey, let's just do this for fun. You know what I mean? That's what I've learned, like, in the
There's
long run of
nothing
doing
wrong
this.
with that. Realistically, there's nothing wrong with trying to grow it, or I guess get paid for something that you're providing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm not going to be mad at that. I really can't, because I see it. You're putting your
Yeah.
time, your blood, sweat, your efforts. You're researching. Like how Trebles does a lot. Trebles will book 4 or 5 shows. I might not even come on during a week. I might not
Mm-hmm.
come on for 2 weeks, and Trebles holding it down. So I definitely see it where people want to make this big old thing, but I will say at the end of the day, the people realize it if it's true or fake. You can
Boom.
mash up 2 people that have nothing in common, don't even know each other. They might have just clicked up somewhere. Okay, cool. This is what we're gonna do, and
Yeah.
it might work. It might not. I mean, you're and people see that. People will notice if it's actually genuinely people talking to each other, they're having a nice conversation, or they're just trying to overshow.
Oh,
For
for sure.
example, I'll give you a good one. Trebles will lead the show 75% of the way, and now interject in between, causing, I guess, the normie side, or like, no, that's not true. Like the other day, we had
Mm-hmm.
this little famous, everybody was saying about it, how he didn't know that cows had horns. He's like, oh, it's all part of the program. He's like, now they're saying cows have horns. It's a bull that has horns. I'm like, oh, motherfucker, you stupid on this one. Cows have horns. He goes, no, they don't. No, they don't. He's like, they're programming the kids. It's all on YouTube, baby. Look at that shit. He's like, cows having horns. Bulls have horns. I'm like, no, motherfucker. I'm like, I can guarantee you cows have horns. I'm like, my grandpa grew up on the ranch. I went visiting every single time. I know for a fact cows have horns. Oh, you go to Chino over here in Chino area. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
lactating cows, and lactating cows actually don't really have horns. So that's where he got the whole perception from. I'm like, bro, you're way off on this one. And I had to call him out on that. And he could have kept off that show. He could have how do you call it? Taken those 3 minutes out where
Yeah.
he's like, oh shit, fuck for real. But it's all part of the experience. People
Mm-hmm.
love that. I mean, I want to say, I have maybe about 20, 30 people that I've grown throughout the whole podcast community, that they share, that they follow it. But believe it or not, they just want to listen to my stupidity, my randomness come out. Because
Yeah, man.
we're not professional at all about it. I'll have, like you said, we'll have people say, "Oh, what do you use?
Same.
What do you
Same.
want? What type of stuff are you guys using?" For years, we were like, "Oh, it's just our phone. It's just our tablet. It's our
Right.
laptop or whatever it is." Nah. You give us a. You don't want to tell us, I'm like, bro. I shit you not. For years, we were like, it's just our phones, an app, and that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like, you can do that shit just with that. You know what I mean? And people are like, "Nah, dog. What are you using? What are you really using?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I just spent $600 on a mic computer setup. I got this badass software. Cool, bro. Hey, you do you. Who am I? I'm not gonna hate on nobody for having all these high tech equipment. But if the show Trebles has this theory where if you don't go past 10 episodes on a podcast, normally it doesn't go through, which we have seen it. We collaborated with a lot of people, and we've
Yeah.
noticed that they don't do more than 10 episodes, and that's it. The show has died off. Or they have
Mhm.
these intervals longer than 2, 3, even 4 weeks. And you just see it falling off. A lot of people will go on impulse. Like when you buy something, you see it, or like, oh shit, that looks better, so I'm gonna buy it. You're gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. But then they don't follow through. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. I will always tell somebody, I recommend you trying it out. Make sure what you're doing feels genuine. Hear it to yourself 3, 4, 5 times. I remember when we first started, it was only maybe 20 people listening to us for like 6 months, and even for those just 20 people, we made sure they enjoyed it. I used to bring in all these crazy stories from my segment called What Is Happening, that I would just scour the internet for. Whoa, this is this.
That's
There's
sad.
actually a little funny one where I found somebody somewhere in Tennessee that actually legally married their ghost inside their house. Like they
What?
found somebody that officiated, and we followed up on it, and I've gotten like 4 or 5 reviews, because at the end of the show we always tell people go check out our previous episodes. But if you go too far back, you see how we were really unorganized, no type of structure, the music was off, everything was off, and now we've sort of got it down to a little bit more rhythm, a little bit more key, where it actually sounds somewhat like a podcast. I mean, but at the end of the day, you just have to believe in yourself and just stick to it.
Mhm.
Damn. Yeah. That's
Yeah, and dude, a lot of the reason that there's such a big attraction to podcasts is because of how organic it is. Like,
yeah.
it's kind of there's that similarity with sports where you don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's unpredictable, and people they really like that authentic emotion and the authentic reactions. So I think you
Agree.
mentioned that a little bit earlier, and I mean that's you can't get that when a show's like overly written or like overly produced, and you can tell it's like it just kind of looks corny.
Yes.
Well, I don't know though. I agree with that to a sense, Pat, but I feel like that's if you're trying to recreate just the organic conversation. You know what I mean? Like I was on my Third Eye podcast, and we were talking about our podcast, and I was like, you know what? You ever been to lunch or recess in high school and the homies just talking shit? Literally, it's the homies talking shit because it's the same fools from high school in the cave, so that's literally what we're doing. But there's other people that do deep dives. There's other people that break down specific subjects per podcast. We just shoot the shit, you know what I mean? We just kind of aim and just it's just whatever fucking hits.
Whatever.
Spraying and
That's
praying,
the
baby. Spraying and
masterpiece.
praying.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece, you know what I mean? But there's people I can enjoy like that do deep dives on certain topics,
Yeah, true.
It kind of depends. It's almost like, am I trying to learn, or am I like trying to let time pass by and feel like I'm, you know what I mean, talking with the homies? Or I could also laugh. I could also learn, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
that's what I'm saying. But I was going to criticize the people who almost chat GPT their talking points or write notes prior, you know what I mean? But it depends what you're trying to do. That's why I feel like what goes back to what I'm saying. Like, don't let the external cloud what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Because it goes back to what, and this quote's been in my head a lot. What J2 told us on the podcast, he said, if you have a dream or a vision, don't tell anybody yet, because they're going to go, whether it's for good intentions or not, they're going to throw their input to try to help you or to try to improve it in their eyes.
You. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But at the same time, like everybody knows, sometimes you don't fucking know what it is yet. You know what I'm saying? So like it's still kind of cooking in your head. Now you're getting ingredients from other people when that necessarily wasn't really on the recipe to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is very true. We had major backlash from a lot of people that were just like, "Oh, you're still doing that?" When we've hit, I think it was like 75 episodes. "Oh, wait, you're still doing that?" "Oh, I stopped listening a long time ago." Or, "Oh, really? I didn't know you were still doing it. I thought it was just like an idea." And you will see that. I mean, you can't. There's nothing wrong with it manifesting it. I really do believe that you should try to manifest things, let it be known, tell people, set your plan. But you also have to be a little careful, because even though it might not be good or bad intentions, it's still, "Oh, well, I would do like this, I would do like that, or do it this way, or no, don't talk about that." My mother-in-law, very religious, very, very, very religious. We were at a bonfire one time. I think it was like for a New Year's. And I started telling her, I'm like, technically, if God isn't from here, and doesn't that make him an alien if we were to ever meet him or something? Oh, bro, she went at it. I thought I was about to get hit with a Bible or something. Just, ooh.
Oh,
She's like, I was ducking and dodging. My wife was looking at me. She's like, what would you do? I'm
just
like,
happened. What just happened?
it's a valid idea, right? And she's like, nah, you messed up. She started giving me the whole Baptist sermon. Before I knew it, she was praying for me. And I'm like, you know what? Forget
Oh,
it, forget it.
That's one thing with like the older generations. They don't want to hear anything different than what they know. Or
Yo,
like,
even if
their
they hear
perception.
even if they hear one cuss word, it's off. You know what I mean? At least for my family, like you know how I talk, motherfucking fucking son of a bitch, shit. What the fuck? One fuck, man. My family usually turns that shit off. So gotta do the edited version for them.
So
But
with
yeah.
like with the pod, like as you guys have progressed, have you noticed like your interests have like changed, or are you into things like that you weren't into before outside of the podcasting? I mean,
So the
Or have
podcast
ideas
has
changed?
influence. Oh, it really has. One of the ones that always touches me real dearly is the whole child abduction thing. Um, all those theories behind the elites, the adrenochrome, all of that really just completely hits me in the heart. I get pretty passionate about it.
Yeah,
It's okay,
and
go.
now it's like all in our faces on the news. The crazy thing is, you guys all know this. Like the guy who was debunking Pizzagate ended up getting fucking arrested for CP.
Yeah.
no, I didn't. I'm not familiar with that story.
Well, now you are, baby.
The irony of it.
Yeah.
Bro, it's crazy how much actually goes behind the scenes that you don't realize it.
Yeah.
And it's that's really one thing that always touches me ever since Trevor's put me on, because you always hear about these tragic stories of one kid hurting themselves, one kid missing, and then get put into perspective how there's thousands of people, not only in third world countries. We could go just deep into America. There's thousands of little kids missing, and it's not brought up. But you'll have that one story that comes in, oh, a little kid hurt themselves, or this is what happened to a little kid, and you'll get that little string tug. But realistically, it's happening 24/7, and you're like, what the hell? What the fuck? And you just don't even think about it because you want to live in your perfect little life. If you don't see it, it doesn't bother you, and that's a part that sucks for a lot of people. Whatever they see on major media, that's all they believe. They never want to look into it. They people will never think that, especially in America, thousands of kids go missing every single day. Oh, that doesn't happen here. Oh, we've heard about it in Mexico. Oh, we've heard about it in El Salvador, but that doesn't happen here. I'm like, bro,
Right.
you're way off.
I remember hearing about that happening like on a lot of the Indian reservations, like that they were finding groups of kids and bodies like buried, and like they went missing like however much time before, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden they find the bodies.
yeah, it's my. I want to say my they're my kids' godparents. They saw that one famous video that came out. What is it called? It was a documentary. I think it's The Silence or something like that, where they go through basically everything that's happening in the U.S. with child abduction and everything. And they were like, they came out crying. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like, bro, you guys just don't want to believe it. All this stuff happens every single day. Thousands of kids are missing. There's a reason we don't have them in cartons anymore because they got too much for people to bear. So people, you could Google this. People actually filed a patent, well, not a lawsuit against most of the milk companies to not be including "Have you seen my child?" or "Missing" or any person, because it was bringing their demoralizing and bringing payment sales down. Because guess what? When they see it, you look at it. You're looking for the date. Whenever you get milk, you look at the date, and then you happen to see "Missing." Have you seen them or something? They actually took it off because it was actually bringing their numbers down when they were just trying to help find somebody else. Imagine your family member, or let's just bring it all the way down to a very loving pet, a dog. If you really care about it, for the most part, you'll set up signs, lost dog, please help me find it. If you have the money, you would go and advertise or see if you can get it out on social media type of thing. Imagine them telling you no just because it's making people feel wrong. When all you're trying to do is just find your loved one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's a psyop. It's propaganda to make people believe that way, you know. Yeah, the children thing is kind of, it's when, like, it's not aliens anymore. It's not shape-shifting anymore, you know what I mean? It's like close to home kind of real shit, and like it's kind of historic, right? If you read the Bible and shit, the kids were also targeted in the medieval times. Like, if you know Pocahontas, the story, wasn't Pocahontas really like 10?
Yes.
She was young.
Yes. Yeah,
She was like 10, 12 years old. The originals, because we've actually covered it on an episode about the whole Walt Disney thing, how he always incorporates a family member dying. And that story of Pocahontas, the original version, she's 10 years old and she's actually sold off. And I'm gonna say sold off because they were killing so many Indians that they're like, okay, here you go, take my daughter. And they gave them I guess, a consolation prize. Okay, here's some gold, here's some gifts for you guys. And I mean, people don't know that. People realistically, they think of that and they think, oh, how beautiful, she fell in love with a prince. Now they're gonna live happily ever after. And then you really Google it, and it's like, oh shit, what the hell are we looking at?
Yeah.
Realistically.
Right.
Yo, my favorite cartoon, well, classic cartoon is Hercules, right? Fucking, I will find my way. Hey, did I hit those notes? I hit those notes, though.
Hey, you got it. I'll tell you that one. You got it.
Yo, that story is way different from what the actual story is. Hercules like went crazy and killed his wife.
Yes.
I think his mom, right, Hera. I think Zeus cheated on Hera, and or Zeus cheated on his wife, and so Zeus's wife saw Hercules as like the bastard child that he cheated on her with, right? So she would always make him go crazy, like give him psychotic episodes. So he went crazy one time around Meg and fucking went berserk and killed her on some fucking Wolverine Jean Grey shit, you know, when he wakes up
shit.
and he's like, ah.
Yeah.
So what happened is because he did that, he lost his godship. And so he had to do 12 like rites, right? He had to do 12 great deeds in order to regain his godship. So like it really wasn't the happy come back home, son, you know, we missed you.
Right.
Storyline that you're seeing.
What's another one?
So
What's another epic one? Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. But literally,
Hunchback of Notre Dame. That shit's
Hunchback
That
fucking
one
crazy.
too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
all of them. There's very limited ones where Walt Disney did not have his input. So when Walt Disney was setting something up for production, it had to meet his standards, and he would actually input certain criteria. So, for example, The Lion King, we all think about it as pretty much nonchalant. But if you actually look through The Lion King, there's a lot of sexual metaphors and a lot of stuff that they don't tell you. For example, Simba gets married to Nala at the end of it. But in the reality, they were actually, from what I understand, they were actually brother and sister.
About to say, fuck.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So people don't incorporate that, and then you go through various scenes, and they'll write the word sex. They'll have how do you call it? Nala doing like a sexual reference. But guess what? It was the 90s and everything went. They just had to basically fly it by and we're good with this. Okay, they want this, they're pushing it through. And at our age, we didn't realize it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could still remember The Lion King right now and it's still innocent in your mind. You had no problem with it. You see it and it's like, oh yeah, I remember growing up. Yeah, hell yeah. Same thing for Hercules. Oh, that was a badass. That was one of my favorites. Aladdin, you could run through all of them and you're like, oh yeah, nothing's wrong with them. Until you actually go in through, you're like, oh shit, what the hell happened here? Like, oh shit, this is right. But it does have a lot to do that as we're younger, we're sort of getting programmed into a belief that it's all fun and games. I mean, give you a good example. When I started working, I thought a high payment was $200. I paid something for $200, and that was a lot of money to me back in the day. I'm like, damn, I just wasted a lot. Now my car note's $600-700, and I'm all right, cool, have to pay it. Okay, whatever it is. But it's reality hitting you in the face, and people don't see that. How there's always an ulterior agenda just under it, and you're like, oh fuck. But you can thank Trebles for that, because he's really opened my eyes. Everything's an agenda. This is an agenda. That's an agenda. We're all looking at it the wrong way. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you know what, bro? We had a conversation about like technology, and back then you had to go to schools, you had to go to church, you had to study under people to kind of get your stripes and get your knowledge before even phones and stuff, right? Certain books you actually had to join secret societies to get access to, because they kind of kept it within the circle, you know what I mean? But now, like, you can go to a preacher who's fucking been preaching for their whole life and did missionaries for half their life. You can go to the preacher with a phone and just be like, hey, dog, that's just not real, because look at this. It says this. You know what I mean? You're fake. This shit's fake. So it's gotten to the point. I had this conversation where back then it used to be spoken word, right? So the information died if the story died, right? Then it became written word or art, like whether that tablet or that cave painting or that book was burned or anything, it's gone. But now it's the phone. You know what I mean? I was joking about this, but it's might happen. If tomorrow 2 + 2 is 8, motherfuckers would be like, hey, is this the Mandela effect? I remember it was 4, dog. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you could literally do that.
Right.
The thing about it is that you have a lot of impressionable people. I mean, you have the whole idea that there's nothing wrong with challenging reality. There's nothing wrong with you questioning everything going out. I encourage everybody to do it. Don't take everything at face value, but don't discourage anybody else. For example, Troubles again. He'll do all this crazy ass research, and I'll have to, like, some of the stuff just sounds a little off, and I'll research it. And for the most part, 90% on money, I'll find the same info that he found. I'm like, oh shit. But at this point, you have a lot of people that are willing to be programmed and just listen to whatever anybody has to say without any real, I don't want to say credibility, because at this point in life, anybody could become credible just by typing some stuff on the internet. Perfect example. I call myself CEO of my dog breeding page. Realistically, I'm just a backyard breeder that loves his French bulldog, and that's it. But guess what? You have an impressionable person. Oh, look, this guy, he has a couple thousand followers on Instagram. He has his own logo. This guy looks legit. Oh, look, he's with this person. This person has 35,000K. I mean, unfortunately, that's the world that we live in, that people can become very impressionable, and without even doing fact check. Somebody tells me 2 + 2 = 8. Oh, bro, I think you're tripping. I think we're fighting about this one. Just a little argument coming on right now.
Yeah. I feel like we hear a lot about stuff like that. Like, recently, I feel like I heard someone say, we were talking about gas for whatever reason, and they were saying that the premium gas and like the middle level gas are like the same thing, that there's like no difference. But like, it's like, how do you know that? Like, are you a scientist or like a chemist? Like, you can prove that to me. And like, even if you know that information, like, I may not understand it. And so it's like, where do you draw the line, like for yourself? Like, you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to dive into. You can't, know everything about everything.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's 110%. You can't know everything. I mean, but that's sort of the way of life. It's If you're good at one thing, you don't know this. If you're good at another thing, you don't know this.
Right.
Or if you try to know everything,
you're not going to be
you're
great.
not a master of nothing or anything.
Right.
I mean, it really just sucks that society sees you in that type of way. But realistically, it's been implemented like that since the years. So, for example, if you were a blacksmith, you could Google this. You normally, guess what? Your last name, when you got picked your last name,
Would be
For
Smith.
some reason,
Smith?
would be Smith.
Oh
Yeah.
damn!
I'm like, what? I really found
Yeah.
out this not that long ago. So certain last names are actually derived because guess what? That's what they did. So they would just
Mhm.
implemented a throne on them. And I'm like, what if I don't want to be a Smith growing up or something? What if I don't want to follow the legacy? Does that mean
Yeah.
that my name would
Find
have to
my
change or
way.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's like
definitely crazy.
it's like
Right.
people. I don't know if you've heard of people with last name. Yeah, Shoemaker, or
Shoemaker.
Smith is another one.
No, is
Yeah.
Shoemaker really linked to making shoes? Because that's like,
Yes.
Schumacher.
come on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
believe the
is.
craziest conspiracy theories, but I don't know about that one.
No, I'm serious. Like,
Yeah. Or
like,
Tiller.
think of
Like last name
like,
Tiller.
Taylor.
What's Tiller?
Definitely.
When they till the fields and things like that.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
think of too, like back then the lineages were known. So, like Jackson, oh, that's Jack's son. So that's Jackson. And then that's how the last name. No,
Yeah.
serious. This kind of
No,
stuff
yeah,
happened.
it's funny though. It's
Yeah.
like this. It's like the semantics. The words, like a lot of stuff is used loosely nowadays compared to back then had like a literal meaning, or like there's a very direct reason why that was chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know mine is so my last name is Perez. And if you follow it closely, it's actually from German descent, but it used to be two last name, which was Gomez and Perez. It was called Gompertz. And if you believe what you read on the internet, it was actually because a family had a dispute and they decided to separate. So one kept Gomez and one kept Perez, but they didn't no longer wanted to have any connection to each
Oh
other.
shit, that's
So
a trip.
yeah, it's definitely wild. I mean, just little things that'll change somebody. How easy it was to say, I mean, okay, I don't want to be this last name no more. I'm gonna be this, or screw this guy. I mean, but now you have people talking about, oh, we can't be doing that. I'm like, of course, realistically, you know how. I don't want to say how dumb it sounds. Anybody could go change your name. You could go to the public records. You could go to the county and tell yourself, I don't want to do this no more. I remember my wife was telling me, oh, should we change our last name? Should we do something crazy, just a little something different? And she goes, oh, what about O Perez? Because her last name is Orderica. I'm like, nah, you tripping. I'm like, I'm not gonna go through all that. We do not have that type of what did I tell her? I'm like, I understand we can do whatever we want. We're paying the fee to change it. But no, we're not just gonna just go or change it up. But realistically, 100 years back, that's what they were doing. That's how it started.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Tank. What's the biggest thing? Because we were talking about challenging views and everything. Like, what's one thing that podcasting and getting to know Troubles and everything that really challenged something that you firmly believe, but you maybe opened up to, or over time it took some sort of adjustment for you to understand.
Hey, before that, I have to point this guy out. Look at this guy's name, yo.
Yeah, do you know how it's pronounced?
Don't pronounce it. Don't pronounce it. Talk about crazy names and changing your name, yo.
Exactly.
At a glance, yeah.
Noah Kinega is his name. So watch your mouth. You know?
Right.
What was Elon Musk's son's name?
Oh,
Like,
XB122.5 or something like that.
He's a droid.
Bro, man. I don't know. I feel like I'd be for like someone who changes their name to just like a number, you know? Like my name's just 8, yo. You know what I mean?
It's like the old Dane Cook joke. I'm gonna name my kid.
Jeez. But yeah, sorry I interrupted you, Danny. I just had to bring that up.
Nah, that's cool. But yeah, what's the biggest thing that your mind has changed, or biggest challenge? Not challenge, but
the craziest thing
an idea
on the show.
That where you're like, and then finally hit you. You're like, damn, that's actually
besides Epstein is an alien. Yo, y'all laugh, but shit.
No, it's true. One of the biggest things that I've always got to think about is, we all know, well, depending how you see it, we went to the moon. We know a lot more about the moon, supposedly. but somehow our oceans have only been 12% explored. In reality, we're closer to here. Why have we stopped looking at it? And it's like, is a lot of stuff really coming from outer space, as they say, the whole alien theory that they come out from all around, or is it actually just coming from within, from inner Earth, from Hollow Earth? And then we actually did a deep dive on Antarctica. The whole Germans going down there, said checking everything out, and that actually made me study and figure out that there's actually treaties in place where North Pole and South Pole can't be explored without these massive permissions. You can't just show up there and be like, hey, let me look around, let me see what's going on, if you had that type of money. And it's gotten to the point where I did a research and I was just diving into it. And I'm not a big deep dive type of person, but you start looking at it, how nobody's ever been able to go back after the whole World War II German science experiments that they were trying to do, the cave that they found and everything. There's actually a old map where it depicts that the if you look at a globe right now, you see how it's just the North and South Pole, and that's pretty much it. There's actually an old map that shows 6 outer rings on side of that, and there's actually a video on YouTube that you could Google, and it's called "Crossing the Barrier of the Antarctic," and you see like this giant massive ice wall, and this guy's trying to go over. He's flying over it, and he gets intercepted by I don't know exactly what military was, but he gets intercepted by these raptors. And I'm like, why would somebody realistically care if he wants to go, quote unquote, off and kill himself? He's going to crash into ice. Might be a little explosion, but it's not like he's going to harm people or anything like that. The freezing temperatures won't let anything explode realistically. And you actually start diving into it, and there's a possibility of realms being outside. And as you progress, we're actually said to be the beginning stages of the realm. So you have what's considered us, and as you keep on expanding. There's the whole idea of that's where we consider aliens come from. But in all reality, they're just people that have I guess ascended to another form of reality. So if you know, allegedly we only use about 10 to 14% of our brain, give or take how smart you are or whatever it is. But if you're actually able to move through it and actually be able to do stuff like how the whole movie Lucy happens, you're actually be able to be ascending, and you actually go into the outer rings, which would be allegedly 6. Don't take my word for it. It's just one of those things that I've literally just looked at it thousands of times. I'm like, wait, if that is true, I'm like, it doesn't hurt nobody. For example, if Elon Musk oh, see, there it is, there it is. Okay, so if you look at the one on the right, you see where you just start going
This
out,
is supposed to be Antarctica right here, right? Keeping us enclosed, right?
Yes. And the more you're advanced, you actually don't go out. So I think we actually spoke about this on Paranoi. I think you were there, Joe Rizzi, where what's your definition of aliens?
Yeah.
And people were saying, oh, from the outside, from inner, however it may be. And that's really one of those things that really does get to me. I'm like, why are we have this idea of flat earth. I'm like, okay, let's check it out. There has to be, I'm not going to say there's nothing behind it, but there has to be something to it at least. I'm not going to tell you it's 100% real. I've never been there. I can't say for a fact, but it does make a lot more sense, especially how the way the government is all throughout. How is it that on North and South poles, there are treaties by basically every single country saying, no, you can't do nothing here. No, you can't do nothing there. To get a research to go explore Antarctica, you have to be on a wait list for about 12 years.
And you can only go through certain places, only where they'll show you, like where they showed Mr. Beast.
even then, it's only like outlined these small little places that's only like about a mile by a mile. You can't leave, you can't go nowhere. You're heavily guarded. They tell you they have full visualization, and I'm like, bro. So it's one thing I do always follow up on. I'm like, all right, is there anything new? Is this really happening? What's going on? I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but there was like a drone video where it sort of looked like a guy driving a futuristic, I guess, jetpack. They couldn't confirm what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, bro, and I just tell travelers all the time, I'm like, bro, it's happening. It's happening. He goes, they're not coming from the stars. They entered the realm again. He's like, bro, shut the fuck up. I don't believe in that one. I'm like, you don't believe in it. But I mean, it's definitely something to look into.
Yeah. That's one of those that you
interesting.
really can't deny it. Oh, sorry, Danny, but you really can't confirm nor deny something like that because like there's nobody that's been to every single place on Earth like that. Even like according to the maps that we know, like if you go to visit a country, you're not going to be in every city, and like we know that the continents move over thousands of years, so it's just a trip. And then that that one cave they found in Asia where
the tiny one, the big old hole.
Yeah, where there was like plants and shit and all kinds of species that we like didn't recognize. Like that's crazy.
So we had what's his face? We had Cyril on a podcast last episode, and we talked about night vision goggles, right? Apparently, night vision goggles. What color is it? If you look through them, it's green.
Green.
It used to be red, apparently. So apparently, it used to be red, and when they tried it out, the fucking Air Force pilots were just like, "What the fuck?" Just shooting at clouds and random shit, right? And then the people in the base would be like, "What the fuck are you shooting at, bro?" And they'd be like, the guys shooting would be like, "You don't see these demons and dragons everywhere?" And so they had to take the red night vision and swap them out with the green one. So what they're saying was maybe he was peering into a certain, like, you know what I mean?
Frequency or something.
Either lens or he was peering into another dimension with those lenses, I know there was another thing called Diconian lens, which is Diconian lens. Yeah. Apparently Dicinian. It's a chemical that if you mix it, I guess, and you turn it into a lens, you can see other entities too. So I don't know if you guys seen that movie 13 Ghosts, where he puts on the glasses and he can see ghosts and shit.
Yeah.
It might be based on on this kind of technology and stuff.
It's actually funny that you say that because a while back on one of my What Is Happening stories, a little, I want to say she was like 5-6 years old, found her mom's old phone. And if you remember the old flip phones back in the day, you would have these preset settings to go sketch, to go black and white, to go reverse. It was just like all these little presets that most of these phones you have to go into an app or change the filter type of thing. But there's one where it's not necessarily heat vision per se, night vision, but it shows off the aura given off. And there's actually this little girl that turned on her mom's old phone. I don't know how she had the charger. Maybe it was fully charged. I don't know exactly how it happened. But she swears that the girl was talking to somebody through the phone. Hey, look, mom, this is my friend. So it's no longer even a make-believe friend, I guess you could say. But she saw somebody going through that different shade that you're able to see. So, it's definitely possible. Definitely.
So my question and the curiosity in my mind goes to this. We talked about aliens. What are they, right? They're from another... Just for anyone, like fucking, we talked about Indian people could be aliens, right? Because they're not from here. But at the same time, this is what I talked about psyop and muddying words. That's why words is very tricky. Aliens, extraterrestrials, kind of not the same if you break down the word, because aliens means out, like not from here. Extraterrestrial means on Earth, but just on extra land, right? Yes. So. Like the fact that
ultra terrestrials too,
and there's ultra terrestrials, right? So the thing I said, I forget which podcast I said, is we're at the point where we have a lot of records now of different beings, descriptive records. There's grays, there's humanoid aliens, there's dog. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of different cryptids,
reptilians, depending on how you see it.
We're at the point where we need to fucking specify these motherfuckers like Pokemon. Like, what kind of type are they? Are they water type? You know what I mean? Are they psychic type? Because motherfucker, dog. If I told you, Danny, the animals are attacking, they're conquering, you're gonna be like, what animal, dog? You know what I mean? What animal do you think I'm thinking about right now, Danny?
I was thinking of like four-legged creatures with horns or something.
I always think of a crocodile, like crocodiles attacking from the sewers.
Oh,
See, like if I say aliens are attacking, Danny. What are you talking about? Devils, grays? You know what I mean? Chinese people? Like, what are you talking about? And I think that's where they lose a lot of people is the fact that it's so generic. When you project that word alien, the image in your head is different in everybody's heads. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so extraterrestrial now gets muddied into that. Dude, what NIH now and UAPs, UFOs, USOs, like, bro, let's just call them for what they are because you've been doing research for more than 10 years and you already know what they kind of are. You know what I'm saying? Let's label them for what they are because you're muddying the water and just making us even more confused, you know?
You know, I'll add to this. I haven't really heard what we were discussing earlier about the different rings, the different, certain beyond the ice wall. But what you're saying, I don't know, and I don't know if it's influence off of it, but y'all seen Attack on Titan? Like
I've seen a lot of it.
Seasons.
Yeah.
Great show, but I haven't.
Here's some spoilers, and for those of you that are listening that haven't seen it and want to, well, I'm sorry. But there's the center, there's like the main one where the elites are like, I wouldn't say hiding, but that's where they live. But there's different walls, but then beyond the wall, they are told like you cannot go beyond the wall because that's where the Titans are. You're gonna die. Mm-hmm. But beyond the wall is where the truth is, because eventually they find out how the Titans come to be, like the different civilization, different society that's beyond the wall, which is much more highly advanced compared to what was living within the walls. So it's I see if the anime was influenced off of this theory, that's pretty amazing. But back to the theory, I haven't heard it, but it seems
there's another one really similar to it that we've sort of found out, where it's a lot closer to home. Everybody knows of Area 51, right? I don't think anybody hasn't heard about it. How nobody allowed to gain access. Very few individuals are actually able to gain access. You can't even fly over it. There's a idea that Area 51 is actually the safe haven from us. So almost in the type of sense of zombie apocalypse type of deal, where they are actually the okay people, and we have actually just learned to be our normal selves, because at one point we were, the zombies per se, the uncivilized type of deal. I mean, that's really similar as well. Whether you believe it or not is a completely different story.
Yeah, I agree. You know what's funny? Now that we're thinking about it and we're talking about it, I think aliens are just fucking monsters for like gay scientist hipsters. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about monsters, right? We can talk, Bigfoot's a cryptid, he's an alien, he could be, you know what I mean? So he's a monster, right? You watch a horror movie and an alien could be a monster. But the crazy thing is, as far as, hey, Danny, that made me think about it, because Titans, you could call giants aliens too, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
If you saw that, that's a monster, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, before you learn what an alien is, it's like, get away from that thing.
Everything's a monster, like anything that we're not used to seeing.
I didn't watch
out of us.
Titan that far in, but now you got me hooked, because that sounds like some outer realm shit. Real talk. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Especially when you watch more of it,
bro. Especially
it's a great anime, definitely.
The thing I wanted to say is Inner Earth, right? I think that's my thing. If you my personal theory is that there's tunnel systems, almost like ants, when they build their little canals. I think there's systems that go from the Vatican to Antarctica to the White House. Like, they're all connected. If you blew up an ant the size of Brock Lesnar, right? That motherfucker could, if you put him on a, let's say, globe, round Earth, you multiply Brock Lesnar as an ant and make a colony of Brock Lesnar ants, that motherfucker could dig to China. You know what I mean? So, and that motherfucker could dig to fucking Vegas and give them X amount of years. They'll have tunnels everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, flat
there's
Earth.
a reason everything's on a ley line, right?
Yeah.
Anything monumental's on a ley line for a reason.
And there's a reason they want to build on top of already existing places because there's obviously that's a hot spot, right?
Yeah.
Now, flat Earth, like this, inner Earth, right? And Brock Lesnar ants. If Brock Lesnar ants from Vatican wanted to dig a tunnel to the outer realm, they technically could still do that, right? I bring this up because the last episode with Rico, he came on our podcast and we talked about the tunnels and the rabbi holes, the Jewish tunnels and stuff. So when we looked into it, bro, we were like, well, I brought up like different sewer banquets that they've had. They had one in Iowa. It's really fucking weird. They've had one in St. Louis. And there's just these banquets in sewer systems, like before they open, with politicians and high-ranking officials, right? Now I was like, so this pretty much shows that there's secret societies that meet underground, right?
Oh, definitely.
Now those Jewish people that came out, they didn't look homeless, bro. You know what I mean? They looked like they had money.
Well, okay. So anything, if you really want to go into it, anything that's been specifically made, especially everything with, I don't want to just say government, because let's go into Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. People don't know that there's basically another city under Disneyland and various floors below.
Right.
That almost nobody, well, very limited people have access to. So, for example, the employees could go to the second level below, and then supposedly there's 3 more floors where it's all for corporate stuff. When realistically, Disneyland has all these massive buildings that's what they use for all the animation, for everything else. I service one from my job. I service one in downtown. I'm like, cool, they're doing all this stuff right here and this. I'm like, how do you really need all those levels for all this stuff? And realistically, I mean, we will never really know the truth unless you actually get to experience it, go down below. I mean, Mount Rushmore is supposed to be one of the most, that's where I believe Air Force One is supposed to take the president. You get me? Why? It's a good gesture, don't get me wrong, having 4 faces right there. People have gotten schematics for it, that there's actually a massive fortress behind it. So I mean, will we know? Probably not. We don't have, I guess, that type of clearance, but it does make a lot of sense how everything important is on a ley line, and that's supposed to be a power hotspot. You could do a lot of things through there. I mean, whether it is or not, I mean, we'll find out. It has to get leaked one time or another.
Trebles is all about mounds. There's something to mounds, man. I think it might be like, if you're, when you're looking at fruit to see what's ripe, I think that's when you're looking at land to see what's a ley line. Like if you see a mound, possibly. Just going to say. But bro, I don't want to get too into this because I got into this the last podcast episode with Rico, but let me just show you this picture from, it's Iowa, these sewer banquets, right, that they would have. Okay. That guy looks like Clockwork Orange, don't he? Now,
oh yeah, definitely.
What's crazy, bro? What's crazy is, they talked about, because at the time when this came out, I didn't know if it was immigration stuff or human trafficking, or it's more children trafficking. But you guys remember, right, Dan? I think you mentioned it. There was that mattress, like the kids' size.
Oh yeah, the soiled mattress.
Soiled mattress. Now I'm seeing that the people are like, the news media or the news outlets are fact checking and saying that that's not true and that never happened.
Wow.
Yeah, so when we go back to Mandela effect and changing things, you guys were tripping. That's a Mandela effect.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, it's weaponized.
Always been like this.
It's weaponized now. Now, this is the fucking crazy thing I got to show you guys, right? First of all, going back to underground tunnels. I watched this documentary called Dark Days. I think it's on Peacock now. It used to be on Hulu, but it's about homeless people that live in underground abandoned subway tunnels, right? yo, they get free water, they get free electricity because there's running wires down there, and like they can tap through plumbing and just get free water. So some of them have showers. Some of them, their homes are like, hey, take your shoes off before you come in.
Oh shit!
Don't dirty the rug.
They got class and shit. But no, they interviewed some of them. Some of them were like, yo, you know what? I was just going to come here for like a week just to lay low, but I don't have to pay bills. I have free electricity. God damn. Sometimes I got Wi-Fi too, you know? They're like, I've been here for 8 years now.
There's a famous one in Vegas, actually.
Yes. I heard every time it rains in Vegas, half those fuckers die. Just because, like...
what the hell?
Because it's a canal, bro, and it leads to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The sewer. So...
the irrigation and shit.
The people who are deep into the canal, who probably have those suites, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When the flood comes, they get washed out. But in the show, one of their hobbies was going down deep into the underground abandoned tunnels, and they said they went down so deep one time they took like this ladder all the way down, and they went and ended up reaching a dead end. When they hit the dead end, they saw a surveillance camera point at them. All right.
Oh shit.
So you know, you talked about elites being in outer realms. I think they're in inner realms. Now think outer but more kind of inner now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's crazy, bro, is, like I said, the Jewish people in the tunnels, they're changing the narratives, and not to be anti-Semitic or anything, but who owns the media, man? Of course they're going to change it, bro. You know what I mean? Nothing on me. Yo.
Yeah.
Also, I said that picture that I showed you of the underground tunnel. First of all, you guys seen the CERN ceremonies, right? In underground tunnels and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So that's another tunnel celebration of like elites joining into, right? So there's this secret society underground tunnel thing that's constant, right? Because the Jewish thing just got exposed. That should have been secret. This is the craziest thing I ever saw, bro.
There's another tunnel one, whether you believe it or not, where it actually says, obviously it's Stonehenge. It's hard to believe what it actually was for, but that there's a tunnel system that would actually help them rise for one of the pagan gods. Off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but it was like a sacrificial a sacrificial site where this pagan god would actually come out of there, and they finally decided to cover it. But it was supposed to be this intricate tunnel. They would announce him coming, and then that's how he would come out. And
Wow.
it's definitely a lot of shit.
This might tie in. So, underground tunnels, right? Jewish people, they changed the narrative. You know, we saw a mattress. I don't know if it's human trafficking or it's illegal aliens. I saw this, bro. Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly getting prison perks after declaring herself Jewish. So apparently what she's trying to do is she's the theory that I read on this thread is they're somehow moving her closer to the site where the synagogue was found, and they want to kind of smuggle her out of there from those tunnels. But I guess they were found. Now, what's crazy is, remember this picture I showed you of the guy in the tunnel with the banquet? So that guy, the photographer's name is JP King, this guy right here. JP King was invited to this party because there was news articles of this party and his name was credited on there. If you look at any other photographs of JP King, the only other photographs you'll find are of kids in an orphanage. Now, underground tunnels, right? Underground tunnels and stuff. I said, I think they lead certain places. I talked about hills and mounds, right? Let's talk about the Vatican, okay? Vatican, how did Vatican get its name? Do you guys know?
You tell us, no?
The Vatican got its name because it was found on Vatican Hill. So they got it from Vatican Hill.
Oh, shit.
Now, how did Vatican Hill get its name? That's the question. So this is the crazy thing, bro. As far as underground tunnels and all this stuff. I did research and I found that the origins of Vatican, the name, probably came from the goddess Vatica. Pretty fucking close. Who is the female deity of the underworld. underground tunnels. What's the Vatican really known for? Being pedophiles, right? Also, priests. I think the Vatican underground tunnels. I talked about hills, mounds, probably being like signs of ripeness or of sacred energy as far as ley lines go. I think there's tunnels coming from the Lord of the Underworld. You know what I'm saying? That's leading everywhere. Is that far-fetched? There's secret meeting in underground tunnels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of underground, Tank, I know you got to go soon. But I was just curious. Have you heard about the Greenbrier Hotel?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
just one last question. Dreezy, I put a link in the chat if you can bring it up.
Okay.
It's in West Virginia.
Okay, let me throw this up.
As long as it's not like the Cecile Hotel, we gravy.
Oh shit! Secret bunker Congress never used. Let me pull this up. Everyone's building underground bunkers now. I heard Andrew Tate has one, and he says you're retarded if you don't have one. Rick Ross just built one. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's just crazy because these are popping up all over the place. But who knows how long this has been there? Because that hotel, has been there like for, I think like since like the 60s or some shit. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
But it's a trip, man. It's just
my only thing, guys. Before you sign off, Tank, isn't like if an earthquake happens, you're fucked, right? By theory.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how it's built.
Unless earthquakes are fake and gay and they're just not telling us the real thing. You know what I mean? You know?
Earthquakes come from Antarctica. That's what's happening.
Right.
Godzilla, bro. He's real.
Yeah. Apparently, it was exposed in 1992, so that shit's been there for a long ass time. That bunker.
It looks like the White House.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost like those buildings in around LA that look like buildings, but they're just for like power or storage. They'll make these highly nice buildings all throughout where it'll be like actually oil mining inside type of deal. But you look in there, you're like, oh shit, nobody ever goes in there. I mean, you could definitely do that. I mean, it makes definite sense how you'll see a regular building. There was a real famous school right here in Almani, and it was only meant to be for what's it called? An asylum. It was an asylum for young troubled youth. And we never saw anything happen. I've lived right by there, and a couple cars would come in. You never hear no noises, especially if they're kids. I don't think they would deprive kids. Well, they shouldn't deprive kids from school, the yard work, or anything like that. Just being outside. I want to say almost like a prison system. Even prisoners get to go out every once in a while. But there has to be thousands of these places just throughout that we just might not even realize it. It could be a little storefront or something, and before you know it, had like this crazy connection in the bottom. I mean, it's not impossible.
Straight up.
Hell yeah, definitely.
That's why we're paranoid, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't know who to trust. Thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for blessing us with your time. Where do we find you outside the cave, brother?
You guys know the deal. Go follow ParanoidRadio.com. Go check out the IG, Paranoi Radio, no D, because if you guys want D, me and Trouble's got it for you guys. Not only that, if you guys want to get in touch with me, check out my other entrepreneurs, which is my dog page called Los_Cuñados_Bullies. If you guys are ever interested in a Frenchie, let me know. But it's just me, Tank. I'm just an average man that just sometimes has a lot to say or nothing to say, just depending on the topic.
Hell yeah, Tank. Awesome. Appreciate it. One of two of our good friends from Paranoi Radio. Thanks for coming on, man.
This was a blast. Yeah. I appreciate it. Hope to be on soon again. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
you'll come on again, man. Well, hopefully we get you in trouble at the same time. I'll get you guys talking shit.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'm open to that one.
Oh yeah, brother.
Catch you guys next time.
All right, sounds good. Take care, man.
Man, cool guy.
Yep.
Cool guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely the chiller. You can't have two crazy like amp people on the show, I feel like, right? You gotta have a balance.
Yeah, I mean, It'd be hard. It might get out of control pretty quick if you do.
Damn, bro. But that's something I raised the last podcast too. Is
the bunker?
The bunker is also the fact that the Mandela effect could be fake. You know what I mean? They could be actively changing stuff. I don't know if you guys notice on songs that you listen to iTunes or on Spotify. I know Kanye started this trend where he'll update versions of certain songs because he wants to change it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I didn't notice that. I didn't know that.
No, you know what? I've been really wanting to look for my old Berenstain Bears books because I used to have a good, but like a collection of them. And I want to see if we still have them, and I want to see the name on them.
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm serious. I remember it as Steen, not Stain.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really want to. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look around. Actually.
Well, we talked about fucking Onyx, bro. The Pokemon. How do you spell that? Just off the top.
Onyx.
It's Onix, apparently.
No, it's Onix, dude.
Look it up, dude.
That. No, I mean, I'm just saying to my memory.
Well, here's where I'll say with that, because we could be wrong, but the thing is, the Onyx, the actual gem, is spelled Onyx, and that's why it's in our head. But because Pokemon wanted to like change it up, they made it IX. But yeah, so I could see where the confusion is with that one. So no Mandela effect with that one, but the one I swear is the Berenstain Bears, not the Berenstain Bears. So I got.
What about what's his face? Curious George without a tail. Apparently, he never had a tail. I
always remember him having a tail.
I wasn't a big fan of Curious George.
The goddamn monkey.
Right.
Looney Tunes.
I didn't watch.
How do you spell Looney Tunes?
What about Looney Tunes?
Spell it.
Looney.
Tunes.
Yeah.
And Tunes.
No, Toons.
Okay.
Nah, it's Tunes, dog.
What is it?
Oh well, Tunes. Here's what I'll say with that one, because they always had like musical cartoons. So Tunes, I could see why that too.
Yeah,
especially
but
the melody ones
more appropriate, right? Like, I mean, at least I think so.
Well, cartoons, yeah, but maybe they called it Looney Tunes because they put a lot of, Bugs Bunny with the music, when he's with the big band orchestra.
Yeah.
Or, things like that. So.
Do you guys remember Freakazoid?
I fucking love Freakazoid, Pat.
Hell yeah. Freakazoid.
That was so sick.
Oh my goodness!
What about him?
My favorite character from Freakazoid is like a background character. I don't know if you guys know. You know the dude who just smiles and he has a suit on.
I have to see it.
Okay, I got it for you right here, bro.
The intro song in Spanish is what's hilarious, dude. The intro song in Spanish.
That guy looks like, as an adult, that guy looks like, like he's up to something.
That was Mr. Last in 6th grade.
I used to draw that thing in every
Mr. Last
in the back of the books in grade school. I used to draw a detailed picture of that guy.
Man, there's so many good cartoons like from back in the day.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm actually watching again? Samurai Jack. Love that show.
That's a sick show. You know what has a lot of old school shit is Tubi. Tubi.
Oh, yeah.
Tubi.
Yeah, it's free too. You don't even have to pay for that shit.
Yo, they got me signing up for all those because some movies that used to be on HBO or Netflix that I never watched, but then I get around to wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
Are all of a sudden not available and exclusive to Tubi now, So
I wonder who really owns that shit.
Yeah, man. These deals that movies have with like streaming companies is weird now. It's almost like they have seasonal deals with people.
Just has you sign up for different subscriptions. I fucking hate it, man.
Yo, yeah, bro. It might, like Pat said, they might all be under the same mother company just to
But you know what? This was the warning that everyone was talking about with the internet. What was that thing? It was like a huge deal where it was the Verizon CEO that was pushing the internet.
I forget what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Not censoring, or like it would like limit to what you could. Because I remember them talking about how it's gonna put the big companies in front compared to the smaller companies, because depending on what you're searching for, it's always gonna go based off what's the more popular compared to, like, even helping out. I forgot, but it was like a big deal.
It's to the point where, like, the people. Well, this is what I said. Like, the people who are going to be the truth now are the people who paid. You know what I mean? Like, who paid for those hits to be at the first search of Google? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Billboards, and it's one of those things. Like I said, like same with podcasting. Like, let's say Jesus had a podcast right now and he was telling people, like, hey, I'm Jesus. I don't know what to tell you guys. And maybe he has 2 listeners, you know what I mean? Like, everyone misses out because he doesn't have clips and, he's not online and shit. Yeah. So it's like, even though the truth is out there, like the genuine truth, like if it's not presented, it doesn't exist anymore because of this mass data and information environment that we're in, I feel like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to look. I'm looking it up. I really want to see what it's called.
Is it a bill?
It was a bill, yeah. And it was bill really like
limit the internet, right? Or bill to control the internet.
So it was
Info
something
Act?
like that.
Was it the Info Act? CDA, the Restrict Act?
No, net neutrality. Net neutrality.
Net neutrality. I do remember that. Okay, that's
what it was. They're saying the SEC voted in favor of strong net neutrality rules keep the internet open and free, but in reality, it kind of didn't. That was the idea of it, but what happened is, and then I remember someone sharing like, what's going to happen is now you got to sign up for certain subscriptions. Yes.
Like, yes, fuck that.
Yeah, without net neutrality. And look, that's what we're already doing.
Yeah, low key, bro. It just, I mean, like, if you think about it, the Disney thing, it's already a bundle with Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus. You know what I mean? So that's already one sect of that. Might as well just throw internet on there too, and like a phone plan.
See, they made us sway thinking it was going to be something, and it came back, it was totally something else.
But that's their play though, right? Like, they always like create the problem, come up with the solution, but the solution really is going to be a new system to create another balance
stream of income,
normal. You know what I mean? A new normal. Yeah.
That's lobbying at its finest, right there.
How do you? Since Pat's going to start the finance stuff, I think that's dropping tomorrow. What do you think about crypto, bro? Are you for it, or are you? Like,
who, me? I mean, I'm just like, it's one of those things. You just have to be very careful, and like, you have to like know all the like ins and outs of it. Like, it's not something that you want to play with when, like when you're not really familiar with all the rules and the policies within it.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole tax thing, and then I know people have done really well with it, and that's cool, but how many people out of 1 million people is that? Not very many. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's kind of like the GameStop thing, there were people who really got to benefit from that, but I'm sure a lot of those people didn't know about like the tax policies on that, and that maybe hurt them, ultimately. And then also like the whatchamacallit, when they were giving out all the small business loans, and people were like doing it fraudulently because at that time it wasn't there wasn't a really intricate like vetting process. They were just basically giving them out. But later on, like months after that happened, people like they basically bullshitted their applications, and then when you couldn't pay it back within a certain period of time, they took you to jail. So it's a lot of those things. They become very fad, and that's kind of in the heat of the moment. People want to take advantage of it, and there's shit like desperation. All those things are involved, but
greed,
yeah, but
FOMO,
that's why you got to be careful.
FOMO. I get hard ass FOMO. No homo.
Yeah, FOMO for sure. But that's why you got to be really careful with a lot of those things.
What?
Yeah, I mean, there were people, I saw like on the news and like on the internet getting arrested left and right because they took out these business loans for applications that they bullshitted, and then when they had already spent the money, they were required to pay it back, and they couldn't do it.
Mm. Yeah, man.
Or they couldn't prove the legitimacy of their application.
I would say though, a good percentage of those people that got in trouble for that didn't know what they were getting themselves into, like you said, and also were preyed upon by, obviously the banker needs to get his at the end of the day too, right?
Well, no, because those were yeah, exactly. That was implemented by the government. That wasn't. That's not something that the financial institutions put out. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you're right. It's a business and they're trying to make a profit. But that was one thing that was not. That was implemented by the government.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as crypto goes, I haven't done anything with it personally. I think there's better, more proven options. But the thing is some of those people that hit really big with crypto is I mean, that's just it's like they won the lotto. That's what the chances are.
Yeah, I would say too that half the people that are celebrating too didn't really hit. They're just kind of
they hit a good amount. They invested $100 and then they got 2,000 out of it. They're like,
yeah. No, I'm talking about the people that became millionaires.
I'm gonna buy my mama.
Mama, we made it.
Right.
Oh, man. Did you guys ever get into crypto?
I never did.
No? I never did. Well, I let. I wouldn't say I led Jermaine, but Jermaine's the one all into crypto. So when he sees something,
he's only into Doge, though. He's only into Doge.
And Pepe.
I need to hop on a Pepe from a dog.
Another thing that's in that realm that's kind of died down is the what are those fucking things called? The digital
NFTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are done.
About that in a while.
Yeah. That was a scam, man.
Does NFTs also entail the fucking the metaverse properties that they were selling and everyone was investing in back in the day too?
I'm not sure about that. I wonder if it is.
Yeah,
it might come back, but now maybe because the economy's so shit, maybe that's why no one's really paying attention. But that's when the economy was doing really good, and people were like, and inflation was about to hit peak.
Can you imagine, Doc? Can you imagine having some Jordans that you've kept that you waited in line for that are probably worth $5,000 now? Can you go and everyone's implemented into metaverse and the NFT of those Jordans are worth 10 million, but your Jordans are worth $10 now.
That'd be fucking garbage, dude.
That's what's gonna happen, dude. You know what I mean?
I feel digital version costs more than the real thing.
I hate that. I don't know. That would
as collectors, of course you hate that, bro.
I mean, no, I'm just saying the idea of everything going to the metaverse, I don't know. It just seems it's the Matrix type shit, kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
But I honestly, I haven't heard much about metaverse and stuff like that. Could be.
Yeah, I haven't heard much in a while either.
It could be my algorithm that's not feeding it to me. but it seems like it's not that big of a deal right now. Could it be? Possibly, but I think it's not. I think we were just, I would say, hyping it up, but we were just too like, oh my god, metaverse, Wall-E, Matrix, and like right now it's nothing because it hasn't really gained much traction like we thought it would.
Earlier, I wanted to like ask you guys what you thought about this because there was like one thing that came up. I forgot why, but in there's a Black Mirror episode where they created this device that they use like for like law enforcement, and you can go through like someone's memories and shit.
Oh yeah.
And
is
so
it
like
the lens thing where you play back to
they put like
vision?
the VR thing on, yeah.
Okay.
And so like I was thinking like, imagine if you could use that on like a tortoise, or like some kind of like, because yeah, exactly. Like, that because a tortoise, like, some of those live up to what, like 200 years?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, man, that's a trip. Or if you could, like say like a tree or some other kind of living organism, and then you're able to like kind of use data from there to, find out about like, what it was like during that time. Like that'd be a game changer.
Bro, I mean, like, I feel like just granting an animal language and just talking to, I feel like, what do birds live long? I feel like birds would know what's up just because they're above and they see what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, Danny, you know this as a flyer. Like the person above flying, looking below, has a different perspective than the person driving or biking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see so much.
Way different.
And you cover a lot, which means that you see different lifestyles, you see different resources, and you see different environments. You know what I mean? So your obviously perspective is a little wider. So birds have a better understanding of like, I've seen these ones here. These ones are over there too, but they eat different things. Weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
They just talk shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking birds. It's literally, it really is like looking down on a map. And then you get to recognize like, oh, here are these hills. And then I could see water from here. And I could see, I don't know, tree area here where there's a lot of like a forest area. You really can see. And then those are all miles apart from each other. That's what's crazy. But because you're so up high, you just see everything. And then, Yeah,
it's a trip, dude. But the one that's like really like mind blowing is the ocean for me. Like Tank was saying earlier, like just because we haven't explored it, like we're not even capable of going to like its deepest depths, and like I don't know, man. It's scary, dude. The ocean is like, I feel like we're not meant for it. Like obviously we need boats and stuff to, and like submarines to really travel in water.
You had a different. Actually.
Why don't we just suck all the water out and put it in like, California needs water.
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that if you take a fucking whale or a fish out of water, that motherfucker can't breathe? It's like, oh.
But then you throw us in there, we motherfuckers can't breathe either.
That's something, dude. I feel like that's. I just watched fucking Wakanda Forever, so like I'm all about this shit. You know what I mean? Like underwater lore and all that.
And then a fucking tortoise, you can go above or in water.
What Wakanda Forever made me think was when the Atlanteans or the Talokans were attacking was the flood. The flood wasn't necessarily there to drown you. The flood was there as a medium for them to travel. Kind of weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary a little bit how they portray them. But I looked into this crazy conspiracy theory. There's not really much evidence, but a lot of like authoritative names in the USO fields have kind of echoed the same theories. But it's from 4chan. And apparently there's an alien base that's strictly ran by AI, so almost like HAL from 2001: Space Odyssey, and it's in the Bermuda Triangle. So the story is that it always moves. It moves periodically, and the Navy and the military knows this. So every time it relocates, they designate that as a new no-fly zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, I guess, the boats or the planes that get a little too close to it, they get disintegrated just as a defense mechanism, right?
Oh shit!
And because it's ran by AI, it's running off commands, right?
Yeah.
So what they say is that UFOs, and I think Thomas from Paranoi American said this on our show, was UFOs possibly could be AI, right? And I had never played with that idea until I heard this theory. He says that how like underwater base would pinpoint different locations on Earth. So let's say there's a nuclear testing here in New Mexico. It alerts it. So it lets the base know that, hey, we need to observe this nuclear test in New Mexico. So it constructs a ship based off raw materials from the base, and arms it with what it needs, like camera, whatever. Or I don't know what it needs. It's a fucking alien, so I'm not even going to guess. But it pretty much puts it together. Then it shoots it out, and then it takes off from underwater, does what it needs to do. And then when it's done, it comes back, goes into the ship, and it's taken apart, and the raw materials are kind of recycled. So you know what I mean? It's self-sustainable pretty much.
Right. That is insane. Yeah.
It's crazy because it made it kind of more transformery. You know what I mean? Like machine AI kind of mixed with aliens. It's crazy.
Biotech. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like playing with the fact that AI could be the UFOs that we're talking about. But something crazy that always gets linked to AI, ghosts, and everything we talk about is ultra terrestrials. Danny, I think that's the third time you've said that. What do you mean by that, bro?
Well, we think of extraterrestrials as like, how can I say,
Hold on. Did you watch the Mr. Mythos videos?
Mm-hmm.
Of the ultra terrestrial?
Yeah, his new one, the one that just came out like a week or two ago.
Talk to me, Danny boy.
No, it's just there's extra. We're basic bitches down here, and then there's extra bitches, and then there's ultra bitches.
What the fuck? Danny, stop talking to me, Danny boy.
That's just in silly terms, but no, like just think of it as we're humans. We have the basic functions, and then there's extraterrestrials, which kind of like what we were talking about with Tank, how we're only able to use a certain percentage of our brains, but these extraterrestrials, they're able to use more of their brains, which allows them to obviously be more advanced in technology, be more advanced in ways of communication, which like they say is telepathic instead of actually verbal, and so on and so forth. And then there's ultra terrestrials, which is like, like these guys are godly, bro. This could be like, in a way, like God, or like what's the Hindu god, Shiva or whatever. Like these are like conscious, like higher conscious terrestrial beings that probably did live on this earth, and that's why they were able to do things that no other being was able to really do. And they could be part of the elites again, or it could be more outside in those rings that we were talking about earlier. It could be, but yeah, that's my basic knowledge, because it is a new term for me too. So the more I learn about it, this is just my understanding of it, and it's a pretty basic understanding, but I am diving more into this one as we speak. So I'll just keep it there.
When I told Tank about, like, we group everything up into aliens and we group everything up into animals, like, I think this groups all the supernatural phenomena into ultra terrestrial is what the video kind of alluded to. And we broke down the term extraterrestrial. I brought this up. Ultra means going beyond others or beyond due limit. So what the fuck does that mean? How I understood it is they're just way advanced beings. Like, think about a deer getting hunted by like a super experienced lion. And I don't know if you just ever watched like hunting videos. Like the experienced hunters don't use their strengths at full capacity. They set up traps. You know what I mean? They wait till you get close. They'll just sit there and then they'll go get you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even fucking killer whales do that, right? Even birds do that. So just the higher IQ predators, they set traps and work smart.
They work smart and not hard. Yeah.
Yes, they said the ultra terrestrials are like beings that are way smarter than us. So they said one of our weaknesses is the fact that we have to, it's also our strength, is the fact that we need to make everything make sense. It needs to be logical. It has to make, you know what I mean? It needs to fit in my belief system and stuff. And so their way of confusing us, the ultra terrestrials apparently or their way of setting traps is to fuck with our logical perspective and do weird shit like UFOs coming out left, right, and then disappears. You know what I mean? Or a ghost that comes up and then disappears. Like they're intentionally fucking with you in order to be like, dude, I just saw a UFO come out of the ocean and it turned purple and then it split off into 8 orbs. And I swear to God, I fucking sound like a crazy ass. No one's going to believe that. And they know that so well, not even to the point that they needed to study us, but they're so advanced that they just need to kind of look at us and be like, oh, this thing just needs to make sense out of everything. Let's exploit that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they think that our realm is almost like a place that they could visit, like Target. You know what I mean? Hey, you want to go to Target, fuck around, see what's in there?
Or Costco.
Yeah, some shit like that. And like, hey, watch this. I'm going to walk through the wall. This motherfucker's going to be like, what? It didn't record. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what ultra terrestrials apparently, the characteristics of them. Like, that's why ghosts gets grouped into it. Alien abductions get grouped into it. Everything gets grouped into it. I know aliens being interdimensional now is kind of the hot theory, I feel like.
What if they're the ones fucking with us with this Mandela effect? What if they're the ones like, haha, it is Berenstain Bears. When I go find my books, it really is Berenstain Bears, and then they're like, haha.
You know what's crazy about this, bro? I looked this up recently because I was doing research on CERN because of the underground tunnels, right? Can we both all agree that CERN is kind of the culprit and the main suspect for Mandela effects and interdimensional beings coming in here? Do you guys agree with that?
Are you talking about that CERN? That's the one thing in Europe, right?
Switzerland, I think.
That's the thing where it creates the God particle, whatever.
The Hadron Collider particle accelerator.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much what Spider-Verse is based off, right?
Okay.
So 2 things. I looked up how he made that up, right? Or how he came up with that idea. He was coming up with like some kind of laser contraption, and the laser misfired and hit him in the brain, and he survived it somehow.
Holy shit.
And then he kept going with his research, and then apparently CERN, or the Hadron Collider, was eventually invented. But the internet, this is why I said the internet could be sus, and the internet Mandela effect, this is the connection now. The internet was made accidentally at CERN. It was like a communication database for them to share, research and share their work and also communicate. And they're like, yo, this is really efficient. Let's launch it. Look it up. How was the internet made? I thought it was military, but it had to do with CERN. It was like their communication system in the office or whatever. So CERN turning on the Hadron Collider apparently
Geneva,
to turn on the Hadron Collider to apparently what their alibi was, they wanted to study the effects of the Big Bang. So they were kind of making little Big Bangs in there to see if that could be the way the universe was created. But some people are speculating that they're opening portals or they're making little black holes in there, right? That's causing these Mandela effects, or that's causing like these weird I don't know what the fuck you want to call them. But the fact that the internet came from there and our source of information is the internet, and all these Mandela effects is happening in the internet, and we're hurrying to look at physical things that we don't have anymore, really, just to verify, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very could well be that the NASA that we think is discovering like the outer realms is really CERN, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Could be. There is I just did a quick look. The first place to have internet, they call it the birthplace of the internet, UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then team of students, and the internet was significant. It was just a way of communication. And then but the first thing that does come up when I type in where was the internet created, the first thing that it does tell me, and maybe again it's just the algorithm listening to us, like the internet needed to be easier to use. An answer to the problem appeared in 1989 when a British computer scientist named Tim Berners-Lee submitted a proposal to his employer, CERN, the International Particle Research Laboratory in Geneva. So about the Geneva Project kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so they did use it, and it probably was, but the first place where they used it was in UCLA in 1969.
Huh. Yeah. 1969, birthplace of the internet. I see. Bolger Hall.
Yeah.
But where is that website? Where is this article from? From UCLA. So shut the fuck up. UCLA put out an article saying, "Hey man, we had the first internet." I'm just kidding. No, that's interesting.
History Channel.
I always thought the internet was like military, but I guess it wasn't. It was probably something that the military saw and figured that they could weaponize.
Definitely,
dude. It could very well be. It could be one of those things where, some guys like part of like a team of like scientists or researchers or whatever, engineers, and he's just putting these little ideas in this guy's head and putting them together, like knowing that the outcome is going to be this. Mm-hmm. And then, we're going to put it out and say that it was created here, although we already knew what it was going to be. And we already have like the answer to all those questions. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Yeah.
Man. And when you mentioned about the internet, I being born in a way, or they first used it somewhere. I don't know if you guys ever saw the TV show. It was like 9-10 years ago. It was called Halt and Catch Fire. It was an AMC show. I really liked it because it talks about like IBM computers and Apple and all this stuff. Like the guy creates a computer, but then like in the second season, they get the technology of this internet, and then they create like the kind of like the cave. They create this community where there's games being played of like people nearby because the internet couldn't expand too far. And like chat boards, chats, games. And then they called it it's kind of cool. We're cave. But in the TV show, they called it Mutiny. So, yeah, man, we should look into it. It's a good show, but they talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a fiction show, right? It's not like a docuseries.
Right. It's a fiction show, but some of the stuff that they put in there, it's kind of subtle because it'll be Apple, and then they'll show Steve Jobs, and that, or they'll show IBM. They actually mention those companies, legitimately, yeah.
Man, I don't know. Yo, even the fucking, because I'm really deep into this dead internet theory. Because, like, I found a study that more than 50% of the content being created is AI generated now. Because I feel like the other percentage of people that are creating content through AI too. You know what I mean? So, like you kind of push those votes towards AI now. I feel.
I'm sure you guys know. I'm taking a class, and one of the classes.
Cooking class?
The professor was like, do not use any of the AI like programs to complete your assignments. Like, I'm going to be able to know. And I'm just like thinking, like, like how the hell would like they be able to know? Like, it's not like it's picking from like 3 different like sources of information. It's unlimited sources of information. So like how can you? I don't know. Like if let's say it's like an essay.
I think it's cap, bro. I think he's capping. I think he's
yeah.
He's bluffing.
Bluffing, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. What I think is that maybe he knows how to communicate with the AI bots very well to where the AI can somehow confirm that the work is made from AI.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know enough to like deny that.
Come on, did you not watch the South Park episode about AI?
No.
I haven't. I heard that was a must watch.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, but it's a trip that's an issue now. Like imagine the kids in high school. They're probably taking advantage of that left and right. Well,
let's go into a little funny rabbit hole. I remember being in high school and there was like websites that you could you could pay. I remember it would filter. I never did it, but I wanted to. But I never had a credit card to pay. But it would give you the criteria, like what topic you wanted, what grade you wanted, things like that. Yeah, like how, whatever. And then it would show you like you could read partially of those essays that were pre-written, and then. Yeah, if you liked it, you'd pay for it. And then it's like
how much did it range for?
It's like $10-$20.
Oh, dude.
But back then,
the thing is, it's a good deal, but I wouldn't want to pay $10 to get busted,
Yeah.
Like, you better,
well, yeah, eventually it got busted. It was reminded me of kind of like those Rate My Professor kind of websites. If you remember that website, it was similar to that, but you would put in like, oh, I want to type an essay about Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War, and then then you could filter it out from there on.
Yeah. So like one of the last math class I took, when we would take a test, it would be proctored. Do you guys know what that is?
No, what's that?
That means that you're being monitored the entire time when you're taking the test.
Wait, so someone's like walking around watching you, or is there?
So if it's through Zoom, all your camera has to be on, and you go through this website and it records you as you take the test, and you can't leave your desk or anything like that, or you can go to campus and then. You go to this to one of the classrooms, and then they have like lockers where you put all your stuff there. They provide you your paper and your pencil, and then you take the test there. Because there's been too much cheating happening, so now they're doing the test like that for a lot of stuff.
People may not agree with me, but I think one way we could really start getting students that study. Including myself, when I went to school, because I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed either.
You're a bad influence on me.
But let's get rid of multiple choice, and you got to write that shit down, because with multiple choice, you could always process of elimination kind of thing. There was that strategy. Yeah. But if you really know the answer, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna just simply write it out.
Right.
You can write. That's where I'm going with it.
It takes more IQ to answer in a complete thought instead of just C, A. Like you could get lucky. Like if I asked you how was Atlantis made? A, B, C, or D, or explain it to me. Like who really knows it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So right. And so I think that it could be part of. Kind of like Tank was saying with Treble's always, this is an agenda, that's an agenda. Well, could it be the agenda of slowly dumbing down schooling and, making it easier for people to graduate? But then now we got stupid people running around running around.
Can I say something before we wrap up as far as agenda goes? And you guys all played sports, and you guys are all in the locker room, so you guys probably agree with this. I think feminizing men and this gay movement. I'm not gay people. I have no hate on gay people. It's the grooming gays. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's been a psyop and a push. You remember back in the day where being gay was funny? Or was that just me? But like locker room stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you remember
I get what you're saying.
Jamal would always fucking show his dick and shit. You know what I mean? I remember those rainy days when like practice would be in the classroom for a little bit. We'd have study hall. Jamal Jenkins would like go, hey. And then you look over and he has his fucking nuts out. He's just like showing you.
What the hell?
But no, like
I've heard of that stuff.
It made me think like, you know, that gay humor of guys like acting gay, you know, and then it showed up in the TV and movie screens where being gay was kind of funny. And then the whole be a prep, you know what I mean? Starting to care about how you
look.
Or
the whole bromance thing too.
Not just that, bro. It also gets to like, I was watching some old LMFAO party rock videos, and even like the tight pants with the colored stuff, color your hair. Like you were kind of setting up what we're dealing with now. You know what I mean?
Dude,
kind of generationally.
The thing is, it's really crazy. Like, you know, because when you look at like the ancient societies and stuff, like I'm sure you know about like the Romans and like how they viewed that.
Yeah.
Like you know,
masculine instead of like kind of.
Yeah. So it was like they wanted like men, the warriors wanted like masculine partners, and it was just like a necessity to reproduce like with women. And then like, you know, like in I think it was the Mayans, but one of the like the ancient Aztec civilizations, they had this thing, this like roll. I believe it's called I think it's called a berdache. Yeah, so it's called a berdache, a Berdache, and it's American Indian who assumes the dress, social status, and the role of the opposite sex. So, you know, like they had like they would like, I don't know how they would choose them, but
like a drag queen then,
or like, I mean, or like a trans, you know, without the like surgery part of it. But it's just a trip how like that's been happening for so long. Like, and then like, but the Roman warriors, like example, that's like the one that's just like, you know, these guys that fought with their hands and like killed people like with their hands, like, you know, and then that's the type of lifestyle that they lived. You know, it's just crazy how, you know,
there's a lot of
factors that leads into check out Metatron, a guy named Metatron on YouTube. He's a historian, and he talks Metatron, Metatron, and he has a lot of videos that talks about like gays in Roman and how it was like not it. He debunks everything that like that the agenda is trying to push. How back then it was normal, and the Greeks and that. No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was normal.
He debunks it with. But what they're trying to say is that, oh well, you know, it was normal back then, and it's like in reality it wasn't. And many times, and many times the people that were gay, they were more attracted towards younger boys. So it wasn't really a gay thing; it was more of a pedo thing.
That's even more fucked up.
I was gonna say, bro, like, what makes you think that these psyops weren't being ran in Rome? You know, like they're probably trying to be like, "Hey, Maximus is gay. That's not gay." You know what I mean?
Right?
He was fucking Brutus just because he's stronger than him. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that, possibly. But really, it's to cover up what. Yeah. Man, that's what I'm saying.
It goes so deep, dude.
It got back into this, you know what I mean?
Like it's an old trick.
It goes back to this, yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you're curious about that topic, check it out, because a lot of the his videos goes against the woke narrative, and he's like, no, and he's like, he speaks facts instead of like actually like talking about feelings and how he feels, how things should be. And no, he's like, this is how it was. And he's I don't care what people could say, and it makes complete sense. Just
Yeah. His name is Metatron. Like, you can't not be speaking deep facts if your name's Metatron. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, he's a pretty intelligent guy. Just hearing him speak, like you could tell like this guy knows his stuff. He speaks in a good.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
I see a lot of videos of him in knight armor. So it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I am hooked. So if we had a time machine, y'all, and you guys can go back to any period of time to wrap this up, where would you guys go?
Dinosaurs. And
would you guys affect anything?
No.
You say you just go to just look at dinosaurs and dip?
Yeah. I remember being a kid always praying to God that I wanted dinosaurs on Earth.
We would not be here that long.
He's like, I already did that, Danny.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's something I never opened up about till now. But I remember being a kid, like, I was just so fascinated with dinosaurs that I would even ask God, like, can you like send dinosaurs one day?
I want to go back that far, not that far.
What was your favorite, Dave?
My favorite
Triceratops, of course.
A Triceratops. No, I was a Triceratops guy. Yeah.
What a beta, bro.
He likes the big horn. Like the one big horn.
He likes getting dominated by dominant, short-armed.
There was that, and I like the I forgot what you call it, but the one that had like the armored shell.
Ankylosaurus?
With the Ankylosaurus. Yeah.
Yeah, those look pretty sick.
I heard dinosaurs are fake. Sorry to burst your bubs.
No, yeah, there's a possibility of that, and there really is a possibility. I didn't really believe it either, but how humans possibly did live with them. So who knows?
Yeah.
No one at this point, like, it's all debatable. What's up, PQ? So what's your era?
No, for my time machine trip, I'd probably go to like one of like the big like thriving empires, whether it's in like Asia or the Middle East or even in
them or what?
No, bro, I'll save that for you. And
it's like a time machine to get gay with you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think one of those would be sick, or maybe like the Mongol, era.
Fucking Alan. Alan came at the wrong time. Yo, Alan, congrats, baby.
Hey, happy birthday, country.
Happy birthday, man.
His birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah, happy early birthday.
Happy birthday, Danny, as well.
Oh,
yeah. Happy belated Danny.
January babies. This is probably
or Super Lucha.
You just walked into us asking. Alan just asked, "What did we walk into?" You just walked into us wrapping it up, asking where would we go if we had a time machine, and Pat wanted to get gay with the pioneers of it.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
But how that happened? He was talking about Romans before and like the gay stuff. That's why I was like, since he brought it up. Oh, so you want to go back in time? And what with Genghis Khan? You too? What?
Yeah,
just kidding.
What would you do, Pat? Would you fight alongside the Mongols, or were you trying to fight?
No, dude. I want to come back. I want to make it back. So I just fucking try to like lay low.
You fight with them, not against them.
Watch what the hell's happening.
Man, I'm torn, man. You guys know one exact time point, or were you torn with two? I have two right now. My first one is obviously I want to go back to. I want to know the real story with Jesus. You know what I mean? I want to go talk to him. You know what's crazy, bro? Like, he was gone from 18 years old to 30 years old. And so his Jesus Christness was just 30 to 33 years old. So we're judging him off 9% of his life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to know what happened and what's up.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be his homie, you know?
And that's to our knowledge, to the best of our knowledge, right? Like maybe we don't know those details like for sure. So.
But the second more shallow thing is I'd go back to when Bitcoin was like $1 and I'd set an automatic payment every $100 out of my ATCC check from mileage, you know? My mileage would have just fucking been fucking Bitcoin, dog. I should have just done that.
And you know what? Now that you mentioned that,
Alan knows what's up.
I can't hate on that. If I knew what to do and I could execute it, I'd probably do the same shit.
Bro, it's not too late. Hopefully, I hear
there might be another one coming.
Yeah.
Man,
so wrap it up. You guys have anything to plug?
Just save your money.
V4V3.
Save your money for the next crash because that could be coming soon too. So
eye
on the low.
What do you mean, bro?
Just saying.
Before I wrap it up, you guys remember Y2K? Did you guys trip out about that shit?
No.
I
mean, no. That was like.
I think we're too young for that.
Yeah, we were. That was only 2000, dude. I was only like 10. I wasn't even thinking about it.
But you guys knew what was like the big deal about it, right? 99 going to 00 and it resetting everything.
It's stupid. You're going from 1999 to 2000.
You guys think it's stupid, but it might have been what ushered in the portal for AI to come. Anyways, been talking for too long. Let's wrap it up. That's it for the cave. If you want to talk more, then you should go deeper down the cave and join the Discord community. Link on our Patreon page. You can find out on our website at cave.com. Check out our sponsors at safelightcandle.com. And shout out to our patrons. Alan, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you, and we hope you appreciate us too. PQ, Danny, peace out, y'all.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Peace. Yo, we hit them notes today. Danny, we should hit the karaoke.
It may not look like it, but